What's going on? It's the Rap Nerd, and the Oscars are upon us, and you know that if you are within the film community. Now, typically, I watch the Oscars from afar because they usually never have movies nominated that I really mess with, which are more of horror, action, fantasy type films. Those usually get the back end, and you might have one here and there that's nominated, but they typically never win. But this year, they have no way to ignore the elephant in the room, and that is Sinners, and that's what I want to talk about today. That is my favorite movie of 2025, and I think so far for the 2020s, I can say that that is my favorite movie of this decade. So as you might have seen in the news, this movie is nominated for 16 awards, which is a record-breaking amount of nominations for one movie. And I just wanted to talk about what I think that it actually can win, because it's not going to win all 16, even though I would love to be proven wrong and it win 16 Oscars. That'd be awesome. But realistically thinking, it's not going to happen, right? So these are just the Oscars that I think that it definitely has a really big chance of winning. So I'm going to start with one of the bigger ones, right? The biggest two, really, and that is the lead actor role of 2025. I believe Michael should definitely win that, man, because I think that for him to be able to act as 2.5 different people in a movie playing twins, and then when a twin turns into a vampire, he's a different character than he was, I think is outstanding. And just for that sheer task alone, to be able to make these characters feel completely different, and he played both of them. Nobody beats that to me, but I know they're not going to give him that because I can already see it now with them going like, well, because he played two different characters, he had to split his performance and we couldn't get the feel of just one character. So for that reason, he's not going to win. But actually, I think it should be the opposite, because I've seen, all of the awards that have taken place, the, Choice Awards and the Golden Globe Awards. Mike's been screwed out of all of those, so it kind of has me like not feeling good about his chances. I think the film council, if you will, people who are voting have a hard-on for Marty Supreme, and that's no knock to that movie. I love Timmy. And One Battle After Another is a huge contender as well, and rightfully so with what that film did. So I'm not throwing any dirt on either one of those films, but I know that those two are very big competition, and based on the awards that I have seen, those two have been pretty much taking the lead role, and the same goes for the next category, the best picture. I feel like one of those two are going to win best picture, even though again, if Sinners won that, I would love for it to win that, because the thing about Sinners, right, that's so great is this is one of those movies where everything meets at the top, right? It's culturally significant, it's a good time in a movie theater, it is well acted, the score is great, the script is great, it made a lot of bread, all of these things amalgamate into why this movie is so great. So I feel like all of the nominations are very much so deserving, because it's really rare when this all happens at one time. Because I've already seen the people out there hating on the movie like, it doesn't deserve 16 awards, they're only doing it because it's black folks here and they want to be woke and all this. Shut up. Can it, okay? Like, you cannot use that excuse for Sinners. You just can't. It's a great movie, regardless of if you want to admit it or not. But anyway, so on to the awards I think it can win. First of all, I do think that it has a really, really big shot at winning Best Original Screenplay. Even though Marty Supreme is in running against that, I think that the script and the screenplay, personally, is probably the better from what I've heard people talk about Marty Supreme. Because from what it seems like, Timmy's performance is what made that movie great, more so than the screenplay. And I think Sinners just has a very powerful screenplay. I mean, due to just that one scene in the middle with the cultural dance and going through, kind of a time warp, seeing what was created. That alone says a lot in regards to the screenplay, and then many different things that it does, balancing, the horror elements, the drama elements, the villain, and tying all these things up into an explosive third act. I feel like that easily can give it the strongest screenplay based off all of the movies they released in 2025. So I think it will win that one. And the second award I think it will win is the original score. Again, that score from Ludwig I think is just unbeatable. We just talk about sheer score and not the actual performance songs, because of course I think that might go to K-pop Demon Hunters. We talk about songs within the movie and written for the movie. I think that one has that song up, but we're just talking about the original score of the entire film. I think Sinners has that one wrapped up, again, based on what I've seen from other films. And lastly, I do think that Sinners has a really good chance, and I think it will win the Cinematography Achievement Award, just because the entire movie was shot with the IMAX cameras, I believe. If I'm wrong about that, correct me if it was shot entirely with IMAX or just certain scenes. But I think with it being shot on IMAX and with film and Ryan's whole explanation as to the different formats you can see the movie in, and having it have those many different formats, I think will give it the win because of what that did for IMAX cinemas in general. Because I just saw something on YouTube, I think it was Straw Hat Goofy, and when he was talking to, I think, Jamie Lawson, and he had said that IMAX saw a real bump in people purchasing IMAX tickets because of what Ryan did with that demonstration. And I think, again, this is all serving the industry, and I think what he did cannot be ignored, making the visual prowess of the film be such a big deal as to why the movie is what it is, especially when you go into the third act and the ratio expands completely. Like, that is a cinematic experience that I will never forget. I remember being in theater just like, ooh, shit, when that thing expanded. And the cool thing is, it did that in every single cinema. So even if you didn't see it in IMAX, the lens was still open up to fill the screen and just give the audience an experience to remember. So for that, I think that it should win Cinematography Achievement Award. So like I said, those are the big three that I think it will win. And hell, I can be proven wrong if it wins more. I'm at it. You know, if it doesn't win those three and wins three others, I'm good with that too. But the movie for sure is gonna go home with something. If not, you want to talk about criminally robbed. So I just want to make a video talking about that. Again, any chance I can do to big up Sinners, especially with what it meant to the culture of movies and just the exposing of American history with the blues and what Black people had to endure with the blues and during those times. This movie's monumental, and I'm going to do my best to prop it up. So let me know in the comments, what awards do you think is going to go home with Sinners? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree? Do you think it has a better chance at winning other awards? And if so, like I said, let me know, and I'm here to discuss all of those things, man. I love movies, and I love getting discussion going about movies and art itself. So if you like this kind of content, make sure to like and subscribe. And if you already are subscribed, thank you. It's much appreciated. And until next time, peace.
RapNerd Productions, no capping, that's word to mommy. Instead of banking on it, now rapping is just a hobby.